In 2017, he was the NBA's most valuable player. By 2022, fans were calling him the NBA's most unwanted player. Russell Westbrook's fall from grace isn't just about basketball. It's about how quickly we turn heroes into villains. And this villain story isn't what you think. The criticism of Westbrook started early, but it wasn't always this intense. During his early years with the Oklahoma City Thunder, the criticism focused mainly on his shot selection and decision making alongside Kevin Durant. But there was still respect. Respect for his athleticism, his competitive drive, his ability to impact games. The real shift in public perception began during the 2015-2016 season, particularly in the Western Conference Finals against the Golden State Warriors. Up 3-1 in the series, Westbrook's Thunder had a golden opportunity to reach the NBA Finals. Instead, they lost 3 straight games, with Westbrook's decision-making coming under intense scrutiny. In Game 6 alone, he had 4 crucial turnovers in the final minutes. This series became a turning point. The moment when aggressive became reckless in the public eye, when confident became arrogant. The hate intensified the following season when Durant left for Golden State. While Westbrook responded with an MVP season averaging a triple-double, a new narrative emerged. Critics began using the term stat padding, suggesting that Westbrook's remarkable numbers were more about personal glory than team success. Every uncontested rebound became evidence of stat hunting. Every missed shot in crunch time proof that he was putting numbers over wins. But perhaps nothing solidified this growing narrative more than the public's response to his most remarkable achievement, the triple-doubles that would define his career. When Oscar Robertson averaged a triple-double in 1962, it was considered an unbreakable record, a testament to all-around brilliance. When Westbrook did it 4 times, it was somehow diminished. Empty stats, they called it. Padding numbers, they would say. The criticism reached absurd levels. Analysis of his rebounds showed teammates supposedly boxing out so he could grab boards. His assists were scrutinized for potential stat hunting. Even his turnovers were questioned. Too inefficient, too many shots, too many turnovers. What should have been celebrated as one of the greatest individual achievements in NBA history instead became ammunition for his critics. And as the triple-double criticism mounted, a larger question emerged about Westbrook's fundamental approach to the game, his need to control every aspect of it. Critics point to his high usage rate and turnover numbers as evidence that he's not a true point guard. This criticism intensified during his stints with Houston and the Lakers, where his inability to play effectively off ball became a major talking point. The numbers tell a complex story. While Westbrook has averaged 8.6 assists per game for his career and is 9th all-time in assists, critics argue that his assist numbers come from dominating the ball rather than orchestrating the offense. His career average of 3.9 turnovers per game is often cited as evidence of poor decision-making, though it's worth noting that many of the NBA's all-time great playmakers also had high turnover numbers. But while the turnover criticism ebbed and flowed, there was one aspect of Westbrook's game that critics could always rely on as their go-to weapon: his shooting. His career three-point percentage of 30.4% became a focal point for critics. In an era where spacing and efficiency dominate basketball strategy, Westbrook's shooting struggles have made him an easy target. The Westbrick nickname, as cruel as it is clever, gained traction during his later years in Oklahoma City, but it reached new heights during his time with the Lakers. What started as an exciting acquisition, a hometown kid joining forces with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, quickly turned into a nightmare that would make even the toughest athletes crack. From day one, the experiment seemed doomed. In his Lakers debut against Golden State, Westbrook shot 4 of 13 for 8 points in a loss. The LA media, already skeptical of the trade, pounced immediately. Every turnover became breaking news, every missed shot a trending topic. The Westbrook nickname, which had followed him throughout his career, became a nightly chorus at Crypto.com Arena. But this wasn't just normal criticism, this was something different. Lakers fans, known for their demanding nature, took things to another level. They started creating compilation videos of his mistakes, booed him during home games, and turned his last name into a punchline. On the court, things weren't much better. The Lakers' experiment of playing him alongside LeBron exposed all of Westbrook's weaknesses. His shooting struggles became more glaring, and assist system that desperately needed spacing. His turnovers seemed more costly on a team with championship expectations. Even when he did have good games, they were dismissed as empty stats in losing efforts. The ultimate indignity came when coach Frank Vogel benched him in crucial fourth quarters. A former MVP watching from the sidelines as his team tried to save their season. Westbrook, who had started every game he'd played since his rookie year, was now being treated like a liability. Even after accepting a sixth-man role and showing flashes of his old self, the narrative never changed. Every mistake was magnified, every success minimized. Perhaps the most telling statistic of his Lakers tenure wasn't his 15.9 points per game or his 41.7% shooting. It was the fact that in his 130 games with the team, he was blamed for approximately 130 different problems. Whether it was chemistry issues, tactical limitations, or just plain bad luck, everything somehow became Westbrook's fault. The Lakers chapter wasn't just another stop in Westbrook's career, it was the period where the disrespect peaked, where criticism crossed the line into cruelty, where a future Hall of Famer was treated like a G League call-up. It's a chapter that revealed as much about basketball culture and social media toxicity as it did about Westbrook's decline. What's fascinating about the Westbrook criticism is the clear double standard at play. When other stars have inefficient shooting nights, they're having off games. When Westbrook does, he's hurting the team. When other players grab uncontested rebounds, they're hustling. When Westbrook does, he's stat padding. Even his intensity, once celebrated as a defining characteristic, became reframed as a negative, too emotional, out of control, unprofessional. This double standard extends to his achievements. While players like Luka Doncic and James Harden are celebrated for their triple-doubles, Westbrook's 200-plus such performances are often dismissed. The same basketball media that praises old-school intensity and playing with heart somehow views those qualities as liabilities when they come from Westbrook. Perhaps the most ironic aspect of the Westbrook hatred is how it contradicts one of basketball's most cherished values: loyalty. Here was a player who stayed in Oklahoma City when Kevin Durant left, who signed an extension when everyone expected him to leave, who played through injuries and never took games off for rest. Yet somehow the same loyalty was reframed as stubbornness, an unwillingness to change his game and adapt to modern basketball. When other stars form super teams, they're doing what it takes to win. When Westbrook joined forces with other stars later in his career, he was desperate and past his prime. The same media that criticizes players for forming super teams criticized Westbrook for trying to win on his own terms in Oklahoma City. What's remarkable about Westbrook's story is his mental resilience in the face of unprecedented criticism. While other stars have crumbled under far less criticism, Westbrook has maintained his confidence, his intensity, and his approach to the game. This mental toughness, which in my opinion should be celebrated, has instead been used against him, labeled as arrogance or delusion. His famous "why not" motto, meant to inspire confidence and fearlessness, became twisted into evidence of his supposed stubbornness. Every confident post-game interview was dissected for signs of denial rather than recognized as the mental fortitude required to perform under intense scrutiny. But hey, this is all just my take. I want to hear from you. What do you think? Leave a comment below and let's keep the conversation going. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're always breaking down the biggest stories and trends in the NBA, and you won't want to miss our future videos. And hey, while you're at it, smash that bell icon too. That way you'll be notified as soon as we drop new content. And trust me, with how quickly things change in the NBA, you're always going to want to stay up to date. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.